Friends, fans, and fine folk. And Patreons. Patrons. Grab your drinks and things. Yeah. Don't need that nonsense. That official shit. We're unofficial here. We're in a private stream. How's it going? You alright? You having a good one? Good evening. Good evening all. Very profess. Totes streamer. Nerdwitch, Julie Robertson, Alyssa. Weird to proper name you. L Brown. K Cock. Cock. Flyer. How's it going? Hytron. Wilder. Jimmy. Harabed. Corey. Who else is here? Tuesday. Michael. How's everybody doing? It's cold, man. It's so cold. Stupid winter. Why's winter gotta be cold? Check this out. I got a bowl of cereal. Tara's here too. How's it going? Killer Koala. Don't know why it's showing my full real name. It's because we're on YouTube. It's because we're on YouTube, not Twitch. And you got a different name on YouTube. Whoever made me this scarf, I hope they know how much use it's getting now that it's winter. Been calling her by her real name all her life. Tara's here, continuing to fight with her AC, so may not be able to stay here. Damn, that sucks. It's a pretty scarf. It is a very pretty scarf. Look how cool it is. What a nice pattern. It's got these like nice larger weaves in it to create this like holy pattern down the sides. It's very pretty. Brings out my eyes. Does it actually? I don't know. Kinda. My eyes are a weird greyish blue. The way you pronounce my username cracks me up every time. K-Cock. K-Cock. You're right, cock. It's a Yorkshire thing as that as well. May I share what happened to me last Tuesday? Do it. That's what it's for. It's just chat. I drove to Munich for a job interview while listening to Rob streaming the BTS special about the PAX panel. Nice. What was amazingly mood-lifting to help me focus on the upcoming challenge. Nice. I'm an engineer, been working in the automotive industry for 20 years. Now did apply for a middle management position at an aerospace company. That's fun. Did you get it? Do you know? Do you know yet? That sounds exciting. Minions gif. Ooh. Or is that... No, I was thinking of Toy Story. Stranger from the outside. Ooh. The meeting was a third round interview together with some people from the team that shall get a new lead. Nice. The HR guy started like, so why do you think you can change industry branches? I was still in such a Rob-like vibe, I literally answered, what I lack in experience I make up with enthusiasm. Nice. HR guy in top management looked a bit puzzled. However, the people in the background seemingly had their fun. I managed to get into a role and the interview went as one would expect. Nice. Good on you, Hatron. Aerospace. That's fun, man. I could imagine that in another life I work at an aerospace company. That's a job I could have had passion for. I in my last year of uni, I for like a what do you call them, like a extracurricular sort of a thing. I went to I applied for a competition for a CubeSat. For anyone who doesn't know, a CubeSat is a cube satellite. They're usually like 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters by 10 centimeter cubes. They're tiny little satellites, and obviously they don't have a hell of a lot of payload that you can deliver to space, but they're designed for other reasons. You put like some sensors in them, and you put them up, and they're up there for like a year or something, whatever, and then they gradually just kind of disappear into the atmosphere and burn up. They're micro satellites essentially, the university I went to had this competition that had been like 3 years in the making by this point, so it was still relatively new, where you put a team together, you put a pitch in for like what you would use the Cube satellite for, and then the winner actually gets to make it and put a satellite in space. By this point, they hadn't actually put one of their satellites in space because it was only the 3rd year in the making, and so the 2 previous winners were still working on their satellites. But I put myself into a competition and I won, or my team won anyway. And so me and the team then had to start setting to and actually making a Cube satellite to go into space. And our team was fraught with management problems and like in-person bickering and stuff. And eventually it all just kind of fell to shit. And I decided like I'm not interested in being a part of this anymore. I was starting to get towards graduation time. And I was like, I'm focused on like making D&D content and or focused on my maths stuff, and so I just kind of dropped out of the project. But yes, in another life, I can imagine getting involved with aerospace stuff, putting satellites into space and things. I don't think I'd have what it takes to be an engineer. It's fucking. I saw what the engineers had to go through while I was at university, and oh boy, that did not look like a fun time. What's up, Sam? How's it going? You having a good day? Group work, eh? I know, right? What was your satellite going to do? It's to do with education. We were going to use our satellite as a way of getting kids involved in STEM. Science, technology, engineering, and maths, STEM. And so we were going to use it as a way of like, we would take it around to different schools, and we would ask them what they wanted, what they think we should use it for, and what they think we should put it into space for, and like explain the processes of putting a satellite into space. And we would put like a bunch of sensors on it that the kids all voted to have on it. Like, do they want a camera on there so that they can take pictures of the Earth? Do they want a microphone so they can hear what it sounds like in space? Spoiler, nothing. Doesn't sound like anything. It's not Steam now. That came up a lot during that was one of the bickering things that divided our team quite a lot, because a lot of people wanted to say Steam, and I flatly refused to call it Steam because there's a fucking reason that it's STEM. STEM is science, technology, engineering, mathematics, because they have all things involved. They are a connected thing. Putting A in there for arts is absolute bullshit, because arts is definitively not science, technology, engineering, and maths. Arts is important. They started putting an H in there as well and calling it STEAM or some shit, because they wanted H for humanities. Humanities and arts are vitally important to a civilization. They are not part of the fucking acronym of STEM. There's a whole reason that we have it, because if you're going to put arts and humanities in there, then why don't we put sports in there? Why don't we put PE in there? They're important for the world. Why don't we put history in there or geography in there? No, there's a reason that we put categories around things that are related. Science, technology, engineering, and maths are related. The arts are very important, but they are not related to science, technology, engineering, and maths. It's STEM, not STEAM. So the satellite was about educating people and like saying like, hey, this is stuff that we could put on a space on a satellite, and we would take it around schools and do like tours, and we'd have like an interactive website with games and stuff that related to satellites and things. Good luck publishing anything or communicating anything without scientific illustrators. You not hear me just say that the arts are important? The arts are important. They're just not part of this. They're not a related field. It's pretty proven that people with an artistic brain don't tend to have a scientific brain, or vice versa. I would know because I'm one of the exceptions. I don't meet many people who are like me, who have a very scientific mind, who are also artistic. You are also one of the exceptions. You have a very biology, zoology mind, but you're also very good at art. I went through university both for arts and for science, and I can say from experience, I do not find many people who are good at both. Arts are important. There's not a moment that I would ever deny that. I do it for a living. But they're not related to the experience, to the category of science, technology, engineering, and maths, which have a lot in common. Classic biologists were amazing artists. A lot of classic folk were amazing artists because back in the day you couldn't be as specialized as you can now. There wasn't enough population, there wasn't enough people doing all of the different fields to be a specialist. Back in the day you had to be a bit of everything. I think the more shit you put into a category, the more inclusive you try to be, to put everything into a category, the less the category means anything. The category is a shorthand for a particular way of thinking, a particular type of person, a particular interest, a particular set of skills that you have. Are you good at the STEM? And you say you're good at STEM. Yeah, I'm good at STEM. Because I have that kind of a mind. I'm an analytical person, or I have the mind where I'm not bored by facts and figures. I'm a STEM kind of a mind. If I'm a really good artist and you're like, are you good at STEAM? I'm like, yeah, I'm good at STEAM because I'm an artist, so I'm involved in that category. Do you understand the simple algebra? No. I remember that my uni did a mixed undergrad degree in Latin and robotics. Jeez. I had an army of images of an army of robotic Romans. Have a theory that most people are only good at one of the arts, science, or sport. Because from a young age we're told that we have to choose one. Probably, yeah. The whole reason STEM exists as an acronym is to try and encourage participation, stop it dying off. Art is in the same boat, even more so as governments and schools try to cut it out. Yeah, doesn't mean that it's part of the same category. The category doesn't exist as the only reason is these are all the subjects that are dying off. It's not a category of these are the subjects that are dying off. Since you're British Kiwi, you won't do a big OE, or you want to do it? I've already done a shit ton of OE, as it were. OE is a Kiwi term for an overseas experience, which is kind of an expected part of the culture in New Zealand that most people, when they reach 19 to 25, go off around the world for a year or whatever and find themselves, and then gradually discover that New Zealand's one of the best countries and tend to come back. Yeah, I would have done a shit ton of travelly stuffs. I've visited like 33-ish, 32 countries, I think. So, Gen Con. Yeah, man. Going to Gen Con. I'm very excited. Robotic Romans. There's a Doctor Who episodes with that. Oh, well, they were plastic. Plastic Romans. We're going to agree to disagree on this, Seijo. You're never going to convince me. People have tried, and I've listened. I've listened to all the arguments that people have given about why arts is involved, and it is not. It is a different thing. It is vitally important. but it's a different thing. It's not related to the science, technology, engineering, and maths fields. It takes a different skill set, a different type of person. Unless you come up with some kind of argument that I've not heard 100 times before. We're just going to agree to disagree on this one. So who's going to Gen Con? Who else is in the US and near Indianapolis? You could prank Alan. He doesn't remember the previous session. You could invent something crazy and insist it actually happened. That's a prank called gaslighting. Excited for a meetup. Indianapolis is only about an hour from my hometown. Nice. What are you eating? Just cereal. A crunchy nut cluster type of thing. I have a screwdriver. Trying to expand that collection. Like, I need another damn collection. You have... Wait, what? Oh, Doctor Who. I missed the Doctor Who bit. You have a sonic screwdriver, I'm assuming. I just thought you meant you have a screwdriver, and I was like... A collection of tools? You want a hammer next and a wrench? Not near Indiana, unfortunately. Gen Con's about 6 hours away, but it's right before I start back to school. Haven't decided for sure whether I'll be able to go or not. Not going to Gen Con, but the TTRPG company I work for will be. They have a full playtest for Fang Night played there. Nice. I sold my tickets to NYCCC. What's NYCCC? New York Comic Con Convention. New York New York Cricket Club crabs. That's probably what it is. New York Chaos Computer Club. Nipples yellow cute cat convention. Damn it, now I want cereal. I mean, get cereal. Go get some cereal. I have an article for you later if you're willing to read it. I'm willing to read it. Nearly Young Charlie's Chasing Cheese. That's probably what she was meaning. Classic Sam was saying, thinking about Gen Con, but I sold my tickets to New Young Charlie's Chasing Cheese. New York City Comic Con. There we are. That's probably what it actually is. Do I need to go get a coat? I was woken up in the middle of the night by the hailstone driving at the window this morning. That's the sort of temperatures we're dealing with. It was like properly stormy. It is cold. It is cold and wet. You don't have any cereal or milk, so none for me. Get some delivered. Uber Eats some cereal. I bet you could do it. Well, yeah, I mean, you technically could, couldn't you? You could just get it from the supermarket. You could get it, like, You could get your local supermarket's delivery service. I'm sure they have one to do cereal and milk. But when I said Uber Eats, I thought like just a bowl that's already got the milk in it. Somebody just has to like drive it to you. Not even in a bag or a Tupperware or anything. It's just a bowl. They have to just drive it and keep it upright. Might have found a tattoo artist for the B. What's missing is money. Nice. How big will it be? B. How do tattoos work for pricing? Is it usually like how big it is, or like how intricate? Is it case by case? Do they give you like a window of pricing and they're like it's gonna be somewhere within this, but like let's talk, and then you give them the design and how big you want it, and then they work out a price from there? Is it all just about how long they're gonna take on it? Do they give you like I charge this much per hour? I never had a tattoo. Never had an interest in tattoos, so I don't really know how they work and how expensive they are. Are they expensive? I know a few people that have like saved for a tattoo in their life, so I think it's like a pretty big expense, right? I imagine it's also like a get what you pay for, and make sure you're paying as much as you can so that you get the best quality tattoo artist. You may be missing your frigid abode when you get here, 35C. Tattoos cost 1d20 times £10. Yeah. Case by case, usually artists priced by the hour or by the day. By the day? How big's your tattoo if it's taking all day? Fuck's sake, AJ. Yeah, alright. Yeah, let's include arts in then. And why not history? You think history's not involved in the science? Can't do science if you don't know history. Gotta build on what's come before. So why don't we put history in there as well? Geography. A lot of science is related to geography. Why don't we put geography in there? French. Latin. You've got to learn Latin if you want to know science, right? Why don't we put Latin in there? Case by case, artist by artist. It's mostly time. You pay for the quality as well. Cheap has a big risk for looking like crap. Yeah, I bet. No very good artist who prices only by the half day or the full day. $500 for a half day, $1,000 for a full day. How much can you get done in a full day? Is that like a sleeve, or is that like half a sleeve? How long does a tattoo take? Both of mine cost less than 200 AUD each. Sleeve tattoos take days to finish. Whoa, okay. Like a back tattoo is a full day, is it? Jeez. I've just never had an interest in it. I've never had even the slightest interest in getting a tattoo. Why those of you who have tattoos or want tattoos, why? What was it about it that you wanted? Like, why did you need it? Is it like a commemorative thing that you like, I just kind of want this thing? Is it like a boredom thing? Like, I just feel like my skin's boring without it. Or was it like I've got a particular art and I want it always on me? Or is it like sentiment? I want somebody's date on me or something. That might be a problem of the English language as science STEM things. Actually, it's Chad Rowe I'm talking about. He was involved in that whole mess with their names, with what's the names. Yeah. Chad was the tattoo artist that came out and brought the Satine and Jameson stuff to light, didn't he? He was like, hey, I was a tattoo artist and I was booked for a couple of days with them and blah, blah, blah. Have you seen Savannah's tattoos? Like 8 or 9 sessions? Jesus. No, I haven't. It's Nordic art twisting around her shoulder arm. Damn. The first one was because of art. The second one was to cover an incredibly ugly scar. I see. I haven't been able to think of anything that I want on my body permanently. I feel like that's one of the problems. Like, if I had a tattoo and it was somewhere that I'd see it every day, I'd be like, I'd probably get bored of it, or I'd probably I'd probably learn to regret it, because I'd start picking at the details of it and be like, kind of wish I'd got it like this instead, or I kind of wish I'd done that, or it's actually not quite what I had in mind, or it's on a weird position and I kind of wish it was further up my arm or something. I'd start like picking at details and being like, not sure that that's exactly what I want here. My TARDIS and my solar system was cheap and took an hour to do back in 2013. Didn't age that well. It was a gift from a friend. It was mostly sentiment for me, fandoms that run deep in my soul. I have my mum's art and signature tattooed. Like, anything to commemorate a fandom, I can imagine, like, I would never do something like that because I was a huge fan of Harry Potter growing up, and then, like, I've been put off the Harry Potter fandom by the way that the direction that the fandom went, even before it came out that J.K. Rowling was a TERF. Like, it was like, it just was like they were just milking it, and they were coming out with all sorts of movies that were just not really that good. And now they're doing a reboot like 10 years after the originals. And so I just kind of feel like any fandom, no matter how good it is, you could get put off it. And so I feel like I'd be worried about putting anything on my body permanently that I'm then like, well, now I've got this thing forever. I can't have a tattoo because I have rare blood stuff. Thinking of tattoos to cover up scars. Just feel the same as you. I'm unsure I would like it permanently. Put it on your back so you'd have to see it. But then what's the point of me having it? I legitimately just forget that they're there until I look at them. Long story short, you're pedantic. Oh yes, very. That was my thought when I was younger. I have an idea, but then wait, and if you still want it a year later, it's not the tattoo. If you still want it a year later, it's not the tattoo for you. Yeah, you could just put a temporary tattoo on, like make sure that you keep the temporary tattoo on for like henna or something, and keep it on every day for a year. And if you still like, I still like it just as much now as I did a year ago, then maybe you're like, okay, I'll save up and actually get it permanent. Your first tattoo was Dread's heart mimic. It had a few meanings for me. The first was because Starlight streams, the rest are personal. Understood. Second tattoo was to cover up a scar. A lot of people getting tattoos to cover up scars, apparently. Be careful, Bagel's already given me permission to get the Everybody Shut Up design tattooed. Nice. I mean, more power to you, if that's what you want. But, like, if I come out as some sort of murderer at some point in the future, and you don't want to have anything on your body that's associated with me, that's something you're going to have to know about. You have to be aware of. I see many older people with tattoos and they never age well. Not that scars age well. It's a toss-up. Can you tattoo over tattoos, if that's the correct plural? Yeah, you can tattoo over tattoos because people get that done to like cover up like ex-girlfriends' names and stuff if they've got a name, or if I guess I can't imagine doing something like that. It's like, what if you break up, or what happens if you just fall out or something? Even like getting your kids' names, you're like, I'm not gonna break up with my kids. It's like, yeah, but you might. Like, not everybody lives a happy life with their family their whole life. Maybe you get estranged from your kids. And yeah, I see things online of like people getting like an ex's names tattooed over with like a floral design or something. I don't have a needle phobia, but the idea of the pain. But an owl. 5 hours of work. So far, the little knotwork dragon idea is the only one that still sounds okay. Need Dragon Age tattoos first. Where are the bodies? I shall never tell. Roughly when are they likely to be found, so I know whether I'm getting a tattoo or not. Name tattoos are always stupid, except my mum's signature. Yeah, I mean, something like that, you're less likely to have that falling out with your mum than you would with an ex or something, I guess. And your mum's signature is kind of a cool one if she's got a cool signature. I saw a service online advertised to me on like Instagram or something that was like a signature service that was like, give us your name and our graphic designers will come up with a cool signature for you. And I thought that's a really, like, we live in a very niche world now where you can really get a job doing very specific things, and there are so many people that you can actually support yourself. No matter how niche something is, you can support yourself. Yeah, they had a whole service of graphic designers that can just make you a cool ass signature, and I was tempted to look into it because I was like, I've never been super happy with my signature. I've had a few variants of it. You can cover up tattoos. I've been considering covering up my TARDIS and solar system with a better version of him. Some tattoo artists refuse to do names for that reason. TV series about cover-up tattoos. Can't remember the title, but it was really interesting to see all the different reasons. Pain isn't too bad. I've heard about a I heard about, oh, when was it? I don't know, probably just a random internet story that I heard, but like there was a tattoo artist somewhere that offers free cover-ups of tattoos if it's for hate speech or stuff like swastikas and things. He'll cover them up for free for like people who are trying to reform themselves from like white supremacist cults and things, and they see the error of their ways, try and turn themselves around in prison or whatever, or people who've got like prison tattoos because they had to join a gang to survive kind of thing, and then once they're out they kind of don't feel it anymore. And I heard about some tattoo artists that'll cover them up for free, which is very cool of them. I might have to go get a coat. I'm getting cold and starting to shiver now. There was a TV series about cover-up tattoos. Can't remember the title, but it was really interesting to see all the different reasons for them. Pain isn't too bad. That entirely depends on your placement and your pain tolerance. I've been told I've got a pretty high pain tolerance, so I don't think that'd be too much of an issue. As a nurse, the amount of people I've seen that say they're terrified of needles and are covered in tattoos are far too high. Really? That's funny. No regrets. No regrets. Thinking a memorial tattoo for my dad, but it'll be expensive, and he was an awful person. Maybe don't get that then. Sup, Spates? How's it going? I got dry addicted to tattoo fixes, things they had to fix. Very. I was like, got dry addicted. I'm not sure what that means. It must be some slang. I got dry addicted. It's like, it's addicted, but not as addicted as wet addicted. I was like, what the fuck is it? Very, very addicted. Lots of people get a celebrity autograph on a body part and then go and get it tattooed in, which is a cool idea, but has the same fandom problem. Yeah, man, you get like, what's his name? Kevin Spacey's autograph, and you're like, yay, Kevin Spacey, put it on my body, and then you're like, oh no, take that off. Best tattoo I've seen was on a woman I worked with. It was a heart made up of the thumbprints of her two best friends. I'd get that with my daughter's thumbprints. That's very cute. Very cute indeed. I've had the painful places of the neck, the side of the head, the ribs, the nipples, and, well, yeah, I heard the ribs is very painful. Who's got a tattoo in the chat, and who's not got a tattoo? I do not have a tattoo, and I don't have any intention of getting one. As a kid, I was always like, I'm never going to get a tattoo because it's like, it's ruining the canvas. As an actor, I've got a blank canvas already, and if I got a tattoo, I'd be ruining that. Because then all of my characters from that point on either have to have that tattoo, or they have to have makeup covering that tattoo. Or clothing covering that tattoo. The back was the worst for you 7 years ago. Still not finished because I'm scared of it. Oof. Have not. I have 11. If we average it out, the people with tattoos tend to have so many tattoos that everybody has an average of like 3 tattoos. One small one. I have none. have none. Tattoos and piercings, but my piercings mostly close up. Need some redone. You know what you should do, Rob? Have a green ink tattoo, and then you can fix it in post. That's actually very funny. have the tattoo made with green ink, so that anytime that it's on screen, you can just green screen it out. Just have a big patch of green. That solves the other problem of me getting bored with it as well. I just have a big patch of green on my pec or something, and then whenever I want it to be something else, I can just change it in the camera. change it in the. I can just make it that I've got a tattoo of anything I want on my chest. Who was I talking to the other day? Was it on camera or was it with a friend? I can't remember. Where I was talking about the different tattoos that somebody had. I think it was on camera. Somebody said that Adam Savage has a ruler on his arm, and that somebody else has got like a notepad on the inside of their wrist so that they can take notes down. And that Marisha Ray, I said, has got the death saves on it. I think it was on stream the other day, wasn't it? I don't like needles. Well, I've been doing this job 7 years. I'm yet to meet anyone that does. Yeah, you don't go in there being like, I fucking love needles. Jab me with them. You get the nipples area tattooed green and boom, Twitch can't catch you anymore. No terms of service here. Green screen them out. Hatron just said Teletubbies. Apropos of nothing? And he says a tattoo of her kid's drawing on her thigh. That's cute. That's cute. I'd imagine that being one that you're not really going to get bored of, or not really going to... unless you have a big falling out with your niece. If you have a big falling out with your niece, maybe. But other than that, that's probably going to last fine. Adam said he knew his ruler would fade and distort over time, so he really had to decide if he was okay with that before doing it. That makes sense. I quite enjoy injections. Probably says more about me, though. Oh, the Teletubbies have the TVs on their bellies like the green screen square, yes. Tattoo a big green screen square. Speaking of Teletubbies, AJ told me the other day, Teletubbies have kids now. Do you know that? Anybody with kids might know that. Anybody without kids probably didn't. You know the Teletubbies have babies? They're called the Tiddly-Tubbies, and they're CGI, and there's 8 of them, and they're all different colours, but the colours are mixes of the Teletubbies sometimes, but not all of them. It's very peculiar. It raises a lot of questions about Teletubby reproduction, because I thought the Teletubbies were babies because they act like babies, and they're all again, yay! But the Tiddly-Tubbies are tiny, which indicates that the Teletubbies have at some point been that tiny and grown, right? And the Tiddly-Tubbies, they have different things on their heads. Some of them just have the straight up, the straight up same coloration, and there's like a tiny Lala, for instance. There's a tiny Lala that is the same shade of yellow as Lala, and she has the same swirl on the top of the head as Lala. And they all have genders, male and female, it seems, because on the Wikipedia page for the Tiddly-Tubbies, you've got the names of the Tiddly-Tubbies and then whether they're male or female in brackets, right? And the one that's Lala is just basically Lala. So I'm thinking, okay, so either Lala has had this kid, and she's had this kid like asexually. She just asexual reproduction just sprouted off an area of herself and like some kind of bacterium. But then there's also one that's basically the same shade of orange as you would get if you crossed Lala and Poe. But Lala and Poe are canonically female each. So how they reproduced is a question. And then there's one that's the same shade of like turquoise as you'd get if you crossed Tinky Winky and Dipsy. And then there are others that are just like colorations that you wouldn't really get from any combination of the original 4, which is odd. And so AJ has this theory that they're not related. It's just that the first 4, the original 4, were just sent down here as the original scouts from the mothership, and the mothership is like, hey, check if the air is breathable, check if the life forms on this planet are usable, are like exploitable. And then once they grew to a size where they're like, yay, again, then the mothership's like, okay, let's send down the next wave, the next batch of them, and they've sent down another 8. So maybe that's the reason. Reproduction by colour theory, yeah. I couldn't even stand the originals, they're banned in my house. Teletubbies evolve every generation. God, it's like evolution, soon they'll be oxygen tolerant and will come for us. They grow from seeds that excavate from that freaking sun baby. The things on their heads are baby buds. Oh no! So they just like, and then it just pops out of their head like a duck. I like Athena. Was it Athena or Aphrodite? I always get the two of them mixed up. Which one came from his head and which one came from the ocean froth? It's parthenogenesis in Teletubbies. Some genetic traits are recessive and others are dominant. Yeah. How do you know all of their names? Me? How do I know the names? You don't know the names of the original 4 Teletubbies? I know the names just because it's good. Just because it's zeitgeist stuff. It's pop culture stuff. Tinky Winky, Dipsy, Laa-Laa, and Po. I didn't watch the Teletubbies. It was a little bit after my time. Teletubbies were like mid to late 90s, weren't they? And I was born in 89, so I wasn't really baby by the time Teletubbies got popular. I always thought the thing on the top of the head was sus. Isn't that antennas? I thought it was antennas, yeah. A weird obsession with the economy of kids shows. Who's producing and paying for the Tubby Coasted? Athena came from the head, thank you. Because she's wise. Right. Athena from his head. It's so weird to think about. I wasn't allowed to watch Teletubbies at home, though, because my mum thought they were creepy. They are creepy. Your mum was correct. Aphrodite from the sea. Okay, that's easy enough to remember, because she's the goddess of love, and she came from his jizz, his sea jizz, essentially. And Athena's wise. She came from the head. Makes sense. I'll remember that. New D&D monster idea. Demonic Teletubbies. Tinky Winky, Dipsy, Laa-Laa, Po. Don't even need to change anything. Yeah. Just stat them exactly as is. There are still people costumed as Teletubbies during Carnival. Originally 1997, apparently. Well, there you go then. I was 8 when they came out, so a little bit after my time. Now I want to show you guys the Tiddlytubbies. Tiddlytubbies. Images. They're terrifying. They're terrifying. Yeah. Here's the Tiddlytubbies, everybody. You see what I mean? Like, these are the original 4, and I don't know why, but like these are the original 4 geezers. So now that's them as babies. So this is when they were first sent down to Earth. And then now we've got. Let's see, can I, maybe if I resize this so you can see it better. Can you see that this one has all the different names of them? So you've got Umbi Pumbi, who is straight up just Laa-Laa. That's the same shade of yellow, and it's the same swirl on top of the head as Laa-Laa. And then we've got Ba, which is basically just Tinky Winky. And Dada is basically Dipsy. Duddledee is Po. And then you've got these like mixes. You've got a Laa-Laa Po mix, which is Ruru. And then a Dipsy Tinky Winky mix for Mimi, and then Nin is God knows what, because it's like how do you get a shade of darker purple from a mixture of this stuff? Maybe it's Tinky Winky and Po, but given that Tinky Winky's gay, it would be weird for him to have reproduced with Po. Burn them, my eyes! Burn them with fire. I'll never be clean again. Nightmare fuel. Looks like Coco Melon was involved in this. Now they've got toys and stuff. I didn't want to have seen that. This is the reaction AJ says she always gets when she tells people, by the way, the Teletubbies have babies now. What the fuck is wrong with kids programming? Fire won't kill them. They have different resistances, like different coloured dragon. Yeah, you have to have different. They're immune to all damage types except one. We've got immune. So lightning will kill the yellow one. Poison will kill Dada. What else we got? We got cold will kill Bar, and fire will kill Duggle D. Then we've got thunder, psychic, radiant. What do you reckon? Radiant light for Mimi. Thunder. What other types have we got? Thunder, psychic, necrotic damage for Nin, maybe. That's my cue to leave. Bye all. Have a great day. If you can, after witnessing this, you can never actually interact with their demon babies. They just go and look at them for a bit, laugh, and then go back to what they were doing. Is that right? Do you have a kid, Jimmy? Are you speaking from experience, knowing these geezers? I'm an atheist and thanking God that I don't have children. Hey, how about we make new merch? I mean, new characters. No, you said it right the first time. We could visualize what's it like that. Thank you, Winky. And the Teletubbies are metallic, it's confirmed they're evil. Psychic to kill the pink one. Nice. Which one of them's in Bodger's arm? Gross. Strange things will happen if you're stranded for a long time with a small group of friends. Do you think there was a lot going on? A lot of the flies type thing going on? Yeah, maybe. I have 3 kids. I've seen a lot of this stuff. The Teletubbies. So yeah, anyway, that's the Teletubbies. Everybody, you're welcome. I want to subject everybody I know to knowing this information. I know it, so you have to know it. What's your favourite, Jimmy? What's your favourite kids program that's actually bearable? What's your favourite and least favourite kids programs? The ones that don't make you want to tear your eyes out, rip your hair out. Bluey, I've heard a lot about, but never seen. Bluey's an Australian one that everybody talks about all the time. Really should watch some Bluey just to see what everybody's fussing about. Oh, my nightmares for tonight. I have to thank AJ for his. Yeah. Tiddly-tubby tattoos? Yeah. Go Jetters? Bluey is fantastic. The number of times I hear about Bluey being so good. What is it makes it so good? What is it like? Good writing, good acting, like good morals, all of the above? You know Paw Patrol? I do know Paw Patrol. I knew Paw Patrol quite well from, again, it was way after my time, but I worked at a zoo as a face painter. And so I got to know the Paw Patrol folk quite well from people, from the kids asking to be the various different Paw Patrol kids. All of the above. It's just really well produced. What is it? Go Jetters? That's one that I've not heard of. Now I need to look up Go Jetters. Go Jetters. This is cool animation. It's kind of got a what was that game called that everybody was going crazy over during the pandemic? Not Human Fall Flat. That's a different one. Fall Guys. It's kind of got a Fall Guys kind of a vibe to the style, isn't it? The Go Jetters. This is your Go Jetters. Why is my screen so huge? You're saying this one's a good one or this one's a bad one? Go Jetters has a disco dancing unicorn running a secret agent group that travel the world saving people from a supervillain. It's everything a kid's TV show should be. Nice. I'm surprised I hadn't heard of this one. It must have come out more recently. There's the unicorn. Is that spaceship coming out of the unicorn's horn, or is that just bad design that it's flying behind it and it's coming from the unicorn's tip? Bluey is really good. Milo Murphy's Law is made from the same people as Phineas and Ferb, so it's for older kids but really good. It's good at being both for the kids and good for teaching adults how to parent too. Ah, okay. Smart. That's pretty smart. Bluey's nice, wholesome. Peppa Pig sometimes has little things for the parents that will go over the kids' heads as well. Loved Pokemon Once Upon a Time, Life, Space, Humans, and a Sakura card captor as a kid. What? Peppa Pig produces so many that's like in Peppa Pig moments in my life. Did you finish Skycraft? What? Are you asking me if I finished Skycraft? What Skycraft? Oh, are you talking about the game that somebody made? I did not. Ah, because you're noticing it on my bookmark bar. I'd completely forgotten about it. No, I'd completely forgotten about it. Maybe I should play it in a downtime stream or something. I love Pokemon, Peppa Pig. Get over Peppa Pig's dad being the demon voice from Dungeon Keeper. Bing Bunny is also amazing. Sup, JMT? How's it going? I'm gonna go get a blanket or something for my legs because my legs are freezing and I'm shivering away. I'll be right back. Let me put you on a Be Right Back screen so you can enjoy the Be Right Back thing. That is rain, is what that sound is. Rain, rain, rain. Speaking of downtime, when was the last time you touched Skyrim? Oh boy, let me see. Let me open up my Steam and see what it says. Because it usually tells you, doesn't it? Skyrim. What is it called? It's not called Skyrim, it's called Elder something. Elder Scrolls Skyrim Edition. Oh, it's still installed somehow, for some reason. Last played, November 12th, 2021. December, January, February, March, April, May, June. Oh, and 1st of July. 19 months ago. There's an episode where he just wants a cup of coffee, but Ben keeps breaking stuff. I felt a connection. It's like white noise. I'm getting sleepy. Yeah, man, it's rainy. Very, 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 very stormy here. Seem to see frost growing on the camera's lens. I've got a nice big mink blanket now. Big old blue mink blanket. So I should be fine. Should be fine now, hopefully. Tell Rob I've gone for a walk, and maybe some time. Who was that? That was a reference. That was a reference to the Arctic explorers. Don't remember the name now. I think I know about it through an Eddie Izzard sketch, is it? Is Eddie Izzard? It talks about the easier to say that you went for a walk. He took himself for a walk. Maybe some time, rather than to say as he mops up the last of his gravy. Have the rules of the BRB screen changed because I spent the 10,000 copper pieces to put a message in it during the BTS D&D VLDL number 141? No, the rules have not changed, Michael. We probably just haven't gotten around to putting it on there yet, but we will. It's going to have gone to the list. Let me just double check that it's on the list so that it went through. Requests. I think it's called requests, isn't it? Or redeems. Is it redeems or requests? I don't know. Maybe I got it wrong. Slash. Oh, it's not giving me the slashes because that's a Twitch thing, and we're on YouTube. That makes sense. I was like, why is that not working? You're on the wrong platform. That's why. Creator dashboard. Viewer rewards, channel points, manage rewards. Review the requests queue. Add a notice to the be right back screen. Yes, we do have it on here. Brace yourself, the septation day is approaching. That will be added to the BRB screen at some point. Why can't you get the dog to lie at your feet? Dog's not allowed upstairs. He gets hair everywhere as it is. He's already getting hair everywhere upstairs somehow, and he's not even upstairs. His hair just kind of hangs in the air and gets on my clothes and goes everywhere. I'm trying to keep certain areas of my house that's relatively dog-free. Still installed because it should be. It probably misses you. Who the hell has time for that? Glad you liked Stray, by the way. It's such a cute game. Were you the one who got me Stray, Myth? I couldn't remember who bought me it, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a good little puzzle game. Relatively easy to fix it. Scott of the Antarctic. Oh, was it an Antarctic expedition? It would make more sense than Arctic, I think. Captain Oates. He's out in the rain? No, the dog's not out in the rain. He's downstairs. He's cuddled up on the couch. Yeah, thanks for that, Myth. Thanks for the Stray game. Pretty much my entire Steam library is gifts from people. You guys want to see what games I've got on my Steam library? Games that I have, most of which haven't even touched. Let's go. Let's see if I can do this. If I get rid of, what do I need? Get rid of that one. Don't need that one anymore. Get rid of this one. Don't need that one anymore. Let's go with this one. it's just showing a black screen, isn't it? Just showing a black screen. It don't want to show it. Why does it not want to show it? Why does it not want to show? Capture method. Oh, there we go. Don't know why, but that works. Here's my Steam library. Let me move myself out of the way of it. Oi, get out of it. You get out of here. Where's my face? Razor. There we are. Here's my Steam library. Let's see how much of it I've actually bought for myself or actually played. There are sales on Steam for the next few days, are they? You lie on the couch, but not on the first floor because of the hair. That sounds very consistent. Hey, we started by not allowing him on the couch, but sometimes you got to pick your battles and realize which hills are worth dying on. It was proving very difficult, nigh impossible to keep him off of the couch. So we were like, well, he's already gotten on the couch. Damage is done. We can keep him from going upstairs at least. There was a game I came across many months ago that I thought you'd enjoy and considered gifting it because it was super cheap, but I didn't because you don't have time. Thank you, Tyra. Yes, I'm sure I would have enjoyed it and gotten to it eventually, but it may have been years down the line before I actually got it. Absolutely convinced emergency service job should not be your first job. At the very least, you should have 60 college credits. God. Are you working with some people for whom it's their very first job? That does not sound like a good idea. I played guilty from a few of these games. I know a few of these have come from you, Myth, yeah. Alright, Abzu. I think I started playing this one, right? Yeah, I played it for 53 minutes. It's a cute little game where you're just like swimming and exploring scuba styles. And there's probably an emergent story to it. I don't think I was playing for long enough to work out what the emergent story was. I was just kind of floating around inside of temples and things. A bit of a puzzle game, but not much puzzle to it, I don't think. Might play it again at some point. Are you going to play Baldur's Gate? I absolutely am when it's released properly. I'm very excited for it. Age of Empires. Gotta love an Age of Empires. This is one of my favourite types of game. The sort of turn-based strategy game. Well, not turn-based, the real-time strategy game where you're like making civilization. You're putting your farms together and your woodcutters and stuff. Played a lot of Age of Empires too. 100 hours of it. Abzu, you were restoring aquatic life in old ruins. Yeah, that's right. Ancestors, played this relatively recently, June 12th. 6.5 hours. Quite fun. It's basically you're trying to evolve. You're starting out as a proto-human ape, and you've got to learn things. You've got to pick up stuff and investigate stuff, and every time you do, you're kind of learning your currency, which is like neuronal energy. And then you mate and you have kids and you pass that information on to the kids, and then at a certain point you've learned all you can as this character, so then you jump forward 15 years into the future and all of your clan, the elders die, the adults become elders and the children become adults, and then you're now playing, so you're not playing as individual characters, you're playing as the entire tribe. So then you jump into the mind of one of the adults, the new adults, and they have got certain parts passed down from the adults, the stuff that your adults learned. The information has been passed down and solidified in their mind, so now they've got a jumping off point. They can start with that information already learned, and then they can explore the world a little bit more, and they can learn how to strip that branch now instead of just investigating it. And if they strip the branch, then they've got like a weapon they can stab with. And then if you investigate the rock and you learn enough neuronal energy, maybe you unlock the ability to use two hands. And once you've got two hands, you can use a rock on the stick and then you can bash it into a spear, and then you've got a spear now, and you're investigating a jungle the whole time, and there's like giant warthogs and tigers and snakes and things that can kill you, and every so often you've learned enough information that you can jump forward 15 years and solidify some of that information in the next generation, and you make sure that you're having babies the whole time and passing it on, and eventually you're evolving over time, and it's a very cool idea, but it's very much a do not hold your hand kind of a game. Even with the tutorial turned on, it's very difficult to know what the hell you're meant to be doing, and then you get frustrated because you just got eaten by a tiger. It's like, well, fuck, I didn't know what I was meant to. I didn't know what any of that meant. All that shit that's happening on the screen. Very tedious. Yeah, a little bit tedious, but it's fun, but a little bit tedious. I had to. That's why I haven't played it in a few weeks, because I was like, I kind of want to learn how to play it, and so I just like stopped playing and started watching videos of people playing it instead, because I was like, I need to learn how the gameplay works, because the tutorial is not a very good tutorial. Lots of monkeys in your games. Maybe. Arcanum. Don't know anything about this. I've played it 10 minutes apparently. Don't even remember having played it at all. Looks like a matching puzzle type thing, or is this your inventory? Maybe that's an inventory thing. Baldur's Gate 2, loved it. Love Baldur's Gate. Book of Unwritten Tales, that's like a point and click adventure thing that I've played for 14 minutes total, and then I was just not in the mood for it and stopped playing. I was a bit disappointed that Ancestors didn't add further content. Had a lot more potential than it utilised. Yeah, could have added expansions to get all the way up to human, right? Brawlhalla, I've played that for a bit, with some mods and stuff. That's a pretty fun, like, Smash Brothers type game. Control, I played that for a couple hours and did okay with it, but it was a little bit scary, and I can't remember what problem I faced. I found it difficult. I found one of the levels quite difficult, didn't I? And then I stopped playing. I was playing it on stream for a bit, wasn't I? Back in October 2021. Jesus Christ. I haven't played a lot of video games. Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, very anime type game. Friend of mine suggested it, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a go. And I gave it like 20 minutes, and it was just not that much fun. And so I was like, no, I'll give it another go. And I give it another 40 minutes, and it was still just not that much fun. And I just haven't bothered with it. Probably should just hide it. Darkest Dungeon, haven't played this yet. Don't know what it is. Somebody has obviously gifted it to me at some point, saying you should probably play this game, and maybe I will one day. Detroit Become Human, loved this game, played it for 17 hours, finished it, but finished only one of the options. I've talked about this on stream before. It's a choose your own ending kind of a branching game where your choices matter, and there's like I don't know, 10, 40 different episodes, different endings, and you're playing as 3 different characters and like 3 intertwining stories that start off completely separated, and then they slowly sort of get mingled together. It's about artificial intelligence becoming sentient and becoming people. I faced spooky puppets in a TV. It was your dog that played in secret in Arcanum. That's probably what it is, yeah. No worries, Atron. See you later. Darkest Dungeon might be from Dag. He was playing it a while ago and loved it. Yeah, maybe. Do Not Feed the Monkeys was a fun game. I only played it for 4 hours, apparently. This was a fun one. Weird game, but quite fun. You're playing somebody sitting at a computer monitoring people, like FBI, CIA style. You've got hidden cameras at people's houses and work, and like at different places of business and things like that. And you're piecing together a story. And the game is telling you you're only meant to watch them. Do not involve yourself with these people. But you learn things about these people, and you can choose to interact with them. You can choose to like ring them at work and interact with them and stuff. And you can choose to like look them up on different software and things. You also have to be aware of your own food. Like you might be starting to starve because you've been at your computer for too long, and you might start running out of money because you need to buy food, and so you need a part-time job, and so you can look around your own apartment and you can look for like notices for different jobs needed, and so you might want to go off and get a job that is certain hours to earn enough money to then buy the food. But if you're at work, then you might miss somebody doing something on the camera during that period of time, and you can't interact with them and stuff. It's weirdly addictive. Maybe I should play it and show you what I mean with it. Don't Starve Together, that's a pretty fun one. I played that for only an hour and a bit, but I've played the Don't Starve Not Together version. That was pretty good. Basically, it's just a survival crafting game. I kind of like those usually. Dorfromantik, kind of a cute game. I only played it for 50 minutes and felt like I got what I needed to out of it. It's like a little tile placing game. You've got fields, you've got trees, you've got rivers and streams, you've got towns. You can place your tiles however you want, but if you place towns next to towns, you get bonuses, and if you place fields next to fields, you get bonuses. And there's no like win conditions to it really. It's just about creating a cute little village of tiles. A little de-stressor game. I think Fancy got me that one. If you're not getting paid to watch those people, it sounds more like being a stalker than working for them. Yeah. No, you are getting paid to watch them. There's like a shady organization that you can like increase your ranks in, and the more you increase your ranks with them, the more video screens you get. But the more video screens you get, the more difficult it is to keep a track of all of the stories that are going on at the same time. But the more video screens you get, the more money you have to pay to the organization. It's like a pyramid scheme-y sort of thing. It's a fun little weird game. Dragon Age, haven't played it. I played Dragon Age on stream, right? What was it? July 2020. A couple of months after I started streaming, 3 years ago. In fact, 3 years tomorrow is when I last played Dragon Age. I played it on stream for 3 hours, and I was like, this was pretty fun. I didn't really know how to play, but this was pretty fun. I'll definitely play it again. And then for the next month or so, people were like, are you ever going to get back to Dragon Age? And I was like, I'll get back to Dragon Age, yeah, for sure. I'll definitely play it again at some point. 3 years later, haven't played it. Drawful. Played for 6 minutes, apparently. Don't really even know what it is. Love the Dragon Age games. Dragon Age is actually how I got into D&D. Not playing the game, obviously, but from watching Will Wheaton's tabletop series, they did the Dragon Age role playing game, and I watched that and went, this looks fun. This looks like D&D. Dread Hunger, played that for a while with Dag and a few friends. It's a survival crafting horror game set in like the Arctic wilderness, and there's zombies. It's quite a difficult one. What's this one? Dungeon Alchemist. This is the map making software game, right? The one where you can create maps and stuff. I've had a play around with it for 6 hours, it seems, but I don't really know too much about it. I haven't fully deep dived into it. The 4th Dragon Age is coming out eventually. Would love to. It would be a good time to get back to them if time or schedule allows. Maybe. Think about it. Dyson Sphere program. This one's a fun one. Very addictive. Played it for 16 hours. It's a kind of survival crafting. Not much on the survival element side of things. Just wondering if there's any screenshots of it. Doesn't look like it. You're on a little planet, tiny little tiny little Mario Planet sized planet, and you're running around collecting resources. You're collecting iron and copper and stuff, and then you're using that to create generators and auto miners. It's very much a sci-fi thing. I think the goal of it is eventually to create a Dyson Sphere. A Dyson Sphere being a hypothetically sci-fi thing where if you create like a huge spherical shell around a sun, and the inside of that is solar panels, then you are collecting all of the solar energy of that sun, and so you can fully utilize the energy of the solar system. So you're creating a Dyson Sphere. Eastshade, what is this one? Haven't installed it, haven't played it, don't know anything about it. Somebody must have gifted me it and said, you should play this. Looks like a survival crafter kind of world explorer. Looks kind of cute. Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, never played it. Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, played for 30 hours, two and a bit years ago. Well, 2 years ago. Better believe I'm taking paid time off when it releases. They're looking possibly maybe some next summer, but who knows? Might have finished Fallout 4 by then. Escape from Monkey Island. I do love a good Monkey Island game. Escape is not my favourite. I think it's the 4th one. But I'll be doing a Monkey Island game at some point, so got to play through them. Get some ideas for them. Dyson spheres are ridiculously improbable. Do you know how many solar systems you'd have to gut of metals and resources just to build the shell? Yeah. Yep. But you know, they're hypothetical, and they're not. You don't have to surround the entire sun with an entire shell. Like, it doesn't have to be a complete shell to be starting to get benefits from it. Like, even if you put a single ring, like a band around the sun, then theoretically that's getting a lot of the energy from that sun. Fall Guys, I played that for 4 hours. Not very long, actually. I would have expected more than that. But I didn't play it since 2020, when everybody was in lockdown. Final Fantasy VII. Played it for just over an hour and a half ish. Haven't played it very long. Didn't get super sucked into it. People have always claimed about how it's one of the best games ever, and maybe it was overhyped. I didn't really get sucked into it. Is it 2? Is it 2 solar systems? Is it the same people that make the vacuum cleaner? It is, yeah. It's Dyson. Dyson as a company is going to make us. They're going to put all of the vacuum cleaners that people have ever used, and all the ones that have ever broken down. They're going to take all of the broken vacuum cleaners. They're going to dismantle them for parts and make a Dyson sphere out of it. First Class Trouble. Never played it, but I got it given to me, I think. Or maybe I bought it on sale, I can't remember, because it was around the time that everybody was doing, what's it called? That one where you're betraying each other on the spaceship. Why am I blanking on it? The one where you've got tasks to do and you're betraying each other, and Among Us. It was kind of the time that everybody was playing Among Us, and First Class Trouble came out as like hey, it's kind of like Among Us with a different art style set at like a dinner party, and one of you murders the others or something. I don't know. Among Us. Never played any of the Final Fantasies. Final Fantasy VII was fine when it came out, but Final Fantasy X was a better example of the Final Fantasy games. Yeah, I've heard that, but I don't have Final Fantasy X. Gang Beasts. I think Dag got me Gang Beasts, and we never actually played it. It's a multiplayer game. I'm not sure if it's collaborative or cooperative, but you're like working to. Oh, I have played it. I recognize that level. Oh, okay, I have played Gang Beasts, just not on my Steam. I played it when I was at PAX last with Dag. Yeah, Dag had it on on his Switch, I think. Yeah, definitely not collaborative. It's competitive. You're fighting to survive on the level, and you're beating each other up. Yeah, that was a fun little game, actually. Golf with Your Friends. Never played it, but I think I've played it at like house parties and stuff when the video game console comes out. Goodbye Deponia. I have played. Oh, maybe this is a different one in the series. I've played one of the Deponia series and I got like halfway through maybe, and then I kind of just got bored. I find with point and click games, I used to really love them, and nowadays I'm just like, they just kind of bore me. A lot of the puzzles seem to be just like a little bit out of left field for the solution to them, and as soon as I have to look up the answer to one puzzle in a walkthrough to be like, oh, you have to put the glue on the duck's back, and then put the duck under the door, and then you have to use the horn, which kind of makes a duck noise so that the duck will quack, and then somebody comes to the door. Some of the puzzles in point and click games, you're like, I was never going to get that. And then as soon as I've looked up one of them in a walkthrough, I'm tempted to just look through the rest of it in a walkthrough, and then at that point I might as well just be watching somebody speedrun it. because it'll take up less time. So I kind of had that with Deponia. I started watching it. I started playing it. I enjoyed the kind of art style and stuff, and the story was interesting-ish. And then I got like halfway through and got bored with it. I also tried... what's the one where you're playing Grim Reaper? There's another LucasArts one, like Monkey Island. What's the Grim Reaper one? I can't remember what it's called, but I played through the Grim Reaper one, and then eventually, quite quickly, just got bored of it and watched somebody speedrun the game instead of it. Much nicer version than golf with your enemies, right? Yeah. Goose Goose Duck, basically another Among Us. Played it for an hour and a half. I know Phoenix really likes this version. I like that you've got different roles and stuff that you can play in this one. Gravitas. I really enjoyed Gravitas, but I could never get it to work. I kept getting problems with like loading it. It would just crash out. I've tried uninstalling it, reinstalling it, deleting it, reinstalling it. Tried it on different machines and got somewhere with it. Like I started getting somewhere. It's very much just a Portal like ripoff. They were just very much trying to be Portal. And as much as I like Portal, I don't like it when a game is too much like when it's too obvious that the only impetus for them to make the game was the success of this other game. Because then I'm like, you didn't really bring something new enough to it. They even had like a snarky robot companion that kind of helps you through things, and the whole sort of premise of it is you're at a testing facility that's testing out this new gravity gun and stuff. It's like, well, yeah, the puzzles are great, but it's just kind of putting me off to think about it being quite insidious, I suppose. If you like puzzle games, I love the Talos principles. Don't know it. Grounded. I'm very excited for Grounded. I haven't played it yet. I've played it just enough time to actually load it up for the first time, because tomorrow after Twitch Tales, I'm playing Grounded with some friends. We have a group of 4 friends that we played Raft with, and we finished the Raft storyline, so we were like, we need a new game, otherwise we're going to not hang out anymore. And so we got Grounded, which is basically Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Up to 4 of you. It's a multiplayer, up to 4 people. Up to 4 of you get shrunk down to tiny wee size, and you get lost in the garden, and suddenly you have to combat like giant ants and insects and spiders and things, and you have to work your way back to the house. That's pretty much all I know about it, but I'm very excited. Then we've got Hades. Played that for nearly 15 hours, so I played that a big chunk of time, but not enough. I've never actually finished it yet. I haven't played it since February this year. What's that? March, April, May, June. That's nearly 5 months. Should probably play some Hades again. Get back to some downtime streaming. I should probably just do a run and be like, let's see if I can finish it. I'll just stick to one weapon, upgrade that weapon as much as I can, and then just see if I can get all the way through it. Grounded looks like so much fun. Yeah, it looks like a good one. Quantum Conundrum was a good puzzle game that brought its own thing to the table. Ever tried that one? Never heard of it, no. It takes such a long time to finish Hades. I still didn't finish it. Alyssa, I love Hades. How many times have you finished it, Adriel? How many times have you finished Hades? And what's your favourite weapon? Were you the one who liked the bow, or was Ben the one that liked the bow? One of you loves the bow, and one of you hates the bow, right? Hades is great. I was competing with my friend for how many runs it takes us to complete, starting from scratch. Nice. How many did it take? I loved Myst. Speaking of point and click, the sequel Riven has a lot of inscrutable puzzle nonsense, though the others were good. I'm hoping Firmament is one of the good ones. Itchy, itchy, itchy. I feel like a dog sometimes, where you get an itch like deep inside your head, and you're like, I can almost get it. I don't know, I like the shield and the spear. A shield and the spear. I like the shield, because having something to defend you is pretty useful. Being able to attack with that as well is also pretty useful. I'm playing Kingdom Come Deliverance as we speak. It's awful and I can't stop. I love the gun and the spear. I think my best was 4. Wait, what? You did it in 4? You completed Hades in 4 runs? I didn't even know that was possible. How do you even get the upgrades needed in 4 runs? I hate the bow. How would you even... I thought the whole point of Hades was that you had to do it over and over and over again. You had to do it like 20 times to even get all of the stuff you need to complete the game. Hand of Fate. What is this? I have never played it. It's not installed. I don't recognize it. I don't know who gave me it. Somebody gave me it. Thank you very much for Hand of Fate and Hand of Fate 2. Don't know the first thing about them. Maybe I'll play them one day. Red, you're fine as long as you resist trying to chase your own tail. Completed as in escaped to the surface. You don't get all of the story like that, but you can get to the... I didn't even know that you could get to the surface like that, though. The game doesn't stop with you being the dad. There's a full story with it. With you being what, Dad? What are you talking about? Heavy Rain. I don't know what Heavy Rain is either, but I have heard... Oh, it's because it's the same creators. It's the one that they created before Detroit Become Human, right? And so it's another like choose your own ending stuff, and it's not quite as good graphics because it was earlier than Detroit Become Human, but it's still, people have talked a lot about it. Sign in to see friend activity. Oh well, it's not signing me in for some reason. In principle, you can do it on the first run, but it's basically impossible. Jesus. Yeah. House of Da Vinci. This is a puzzle game, right? Didn't I play through one of these on stream? Did I play through a couple of them? Or did I play through something similar and then someone gifted me this one? Oh, I just played through The Room, right? There was one just called Room or The Room or something. And I played through a couple of those ones, but then the House of Da Vinci is by the same people, I think, something like that. Human Fall Flat, that's a pretty fun little puzzle one for a couple of people. Played that through with Brit and things. I played it more recently with a friend back in May, a month and a bit ago. It Takes Two. This was a fun one that I was playing with Dread in our downtime, like off stream, but I haven't played since April. We should really set a time aside to catch up and play it again. It's a really cute story. You're a married couple with a child, a young girl, and you are going through a divorce, and you're trying to keep it from your daughter, but you know, kids are intuitive and they pick up on things of you like whispering arguments and stuff. And you tell your kid that you're getting divorced, and then she runs off to play with her toys, and she's got a little doll of both of you. And then like I can't remember what the impetus is, some voodoo magic or something happens, and you two get sucked into the dolls. And now you're in your kid's bedroom, or you're in the basement or something, as these dolls, and you have to work together on like certain puzzles and things. And I imagine by the end of the story you've learned to overcome your differences, and you've learned to communicate better, and you give it another go, and your marriage succeeds, and happily ever after probably. But Dread and I were having a lot of fun just playing this privately, and like having little digs at each other as we played the game, like we were role playing it. Obviously, both of us were turning it into a role playing game and being like, well, maybe if you gave me more attention than you give my sister. Oh, you're gonna throw that in my face, are you? I told you she was dressed like she'd borrowed one of your coats, and I thought she was you. Her hair was worn like yours. I came up behind and I touched her bum, but I thought it was you. Oh yeah, that's the excuse you gave last time as well. It was a lot of fun. We should definitely get back to playing that again. The Jackbox, that's just like a amalgamation of all sorts of little fun kind of games to play at a party. Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. I played that for 3 hours with Tals, right? It's a bomb game where you've got a bunch of like wires to cut, or like codes to input, or buttons to press and stuff, and only one of you has the box and the other one has the manual, and you have to read out sort of like serial codes and things to tell which bomb it is, and then you have to read each other the instructions and stuff. Tals and I played that and had a lot of fun with it. Kerbal Space Program. I kind of wanted to play this in theory. I was like, oh, I kind of like I've heard a lot about it, and it's It's pretty good for aeronautics. It's good for like space travel stuff. Like it's actually pretty accurate about about teaching you how to budget your fuel and how many fuel tanks you need to get off of the planet, and like teaching you about spacecraft design. But then I played it and it was a little bit too complicated. I wasn't having a lot of fun with it. I didn't really like the UI stuff, and so I kind of just got bored of it in February last year. That game was super popular for a while, but I hadn't seen it mentioned lately. Kerbal Space Program, yeah, everybody was talking about it for a while. Magicka, we played this with my mods one time, I think, for mod games. It was like you're all playing wizards, and you're quite squishy wizards, but you're running around a fantasy town, kind of saving people. It's pretty much the limits of it. Played it for 5 hours, and then a beta to balance the spells a little bit. Manifold Garden, what is this? This looks fun. Gyroscope photo mode. I don't know anything about this. I don't know who gave me it. I've obviously never played it. It kind of looks like a puzzle game. Looks like kind of like a trippy, like it's going to be one of those MC Escher kind of trippy puzzle games. Is that what it is? Whoever gave it to me? Are you there? Are you here? Whoever it was. Played Keep Talking in VR, was fun. Tried to get up from the floor by leaning on the desk. The VR desk. Just like put your hand out to put your weight on the desk. That's brilliant. That's how you know you've got some good VR. Have you played FTL? What's FTL? Final translation. FTL's not on my list. What's FTL? Manifold Garden's a puzzle exploration with infinite fractal scenes. Gorgeous. It was you. Yes, I thought it might have been you. It seems like the sort of game you like to gift me. I'll play that at some point because I do like kind of weird puzzle games. Oh, there's one much further down the list that I'll talk about that's a weird sort of puzzle game as well. Mass Effect? I didn't know I had Mass Effect. I must have mentioned at some point on Scream that I had never played Mass Effect and somebody's bought me it. It's very generous of you to buy me Steam games, by the way. I do like games. Video games are like one of my favourite things, but I just never give myself time to actually play them. Mass Effect I've heard a lot about in the zeitgeist and popular culture, just never actually played them. Monkey Island 2, again, I've just said Monkey Island was one of my favourite sort of point-and-click games that's, back in the day. Night of the Rabbit, what is this one? Platformer? Puzzle game, maybe? Looks like it's very beautiful art styles. Not sure I know anything about it though. Obviously never played it. Faster Than Light, it's a rogue spaceship thing. Roguelike spaceship thing. Never played it. Never heard of it. Probably heard of it, never played it. Yes, exactly like that. I'll never live it down. That's brilliant. It's brilliant. Mass Effect is from me as well. Turians are a race from there. Ah, okay. Is that where you get your name from? The Turians. Another monkey. Is there anything to decipher about this unconscious passion? Maybe. I don't know. Love some monkeys. VR is dangerous. Once sprained my ankle trying to do a backflip motion in a kung fu game. Jesus. Orcs Must Die. This is actually a really fun game that I've been playing with Dag in some downtimes, just to kind of chill out. I haven't played it since I started June though. It is basically a tower defense game. So you get waves of monsters, orcs mostly, trolls and things as well, ogres. They come from a door or two, and they make their way slowly to your portal, your end game, just like any other tower defense. Only it's 3-dimensional, and you are one of the towers in your tower defense game. So you can buy traps, you can buy spells and things to slow them down, or to freeze them, or to do damage to them over time, and then you're there picking them off with arrows as well. So it's a 3D in real time tower defense game, and I'm quite enjoying it. Then we've got Overcooked. That's always a fun little stressful party game where you're running around a kitchen cooking things. Oxenfree. Oxenfree I thought I'd played, but apparently not, it says. Oxenfree. Oh, it's not the one that I was thinking of, that's why. What is Oxenfree? Looks like a cute little spoopy one. Is it a cute little spoopy? Looks like a cute little spoopy.
with mists and puzzles and stuff. Is it like a little platformer or a point and click? Then we got Oxygen Not Included. This is a very addictive game, as you can tell by my 69 nice playtime hours. But I haven't played since February last year. Holy shit, I wouldn't have expected it had been that long. Oxygen Not Included is your miners on an asteroid. Oh, excuse me. You're like a tiny little mining colony on an asteroid. And you've got to keep aware of your food, your oxygen, your temperature. So if you ever burst into into like a chamber where there's a volcano or a geyser of some kind, then that's going to start spewing out steam, and that's going to very quickly raise the heat of your entire colony, and you're all going to die. All your plants are going to die because your farms can only grow under certain temperatures. Between like certain temperatures, so if it gets above that, your plants will all wilt and then you'll start to starve. Lots and lots of things to do. It's a survival crafting kind of a game, but it's two-dimensional. Like you're digging out different resources from the mine to increase the size of your room, but it's got some really interesting fluid dynamics built into the game. So the larger the room that you're mining out, the more oxygen you need to fill that room. So you need to have oxygen producers and stuff. You need to be aware of like diseases and germs and things. You can set it different difficulty levels, which I like. You've got to be aware of like your hygiene and your sanitation of your whole colony. It's very addictive. You have many more abandoned games than you've finished. Yes. I have much less time to play games than I would like. Oxenfree is a mystery ghost story with some fun mechanics. If I remember well, the artist behind the work used to work for Disney. Cool. The Pedestrian. Never heard of it. A digital art book. Behind the scenes. What do you do with this one? Puzzle showcase? It's a puzzle game, maybe? Pedestrian. I don't know anything about it. Somebody obviously gifted me it. For reasons I do not know. Pico Pack, I've played a little bit, 3 hours. It's a very simple puzzle game, but very infuriating. You're playing as these weird cat-like people, I guess, and you can jump on each other's heads. You can jump over obstacles. You're trying to get to the next door. But there's certain puzzle because it's it's all or nothing. Like because it's a team game. If somebody fails, you all get zipped back to the start. So some levels have like a button that you're not allowed to push, so you've got to jump over the button. And then the amount of stress that comes from like trying to jump over a simple button when all of you have jumped, when it's taken you 20 minutes to get to the end of this one level, and then you just have one button to jump over and everybody makes it, and then that last person starts to dick around, usually me, start being like jumping back and forth over the button, being like, uh-oh, I'm going to touch the button, and then they accidentally actually touch the button and you have to start again, and you're like, oops, I'm sorry. Oopsie. Pillars of Eternity. What is this one? I haven't played it. Pillars of Eternity's like a sandboxy game, is it? Like is it like a Baldur's Gate or something like that? Yeah, it looks like a Baldur's Gate. Yeah, it's definitely just Baldur's Gate, but it looks of it. It's got rings and turn-based fighting and all of that shit. Not my favourite type of game, but I can enjoy it if I'm in the right mood for it. For a second, I had heard we have to pay attention to Eugene. What? We have to pay attention to hygiene. Makes sense. Jump on top of each other's heads to get to the other side of a door. Yep, sounds like cats. Portal 2, very good game. Portal 1, also very good game. If you haven't played the Portal series, they are a puzzle game where you have a gun that can shoot a blue circle and an orange circle, and the circles will connect, so you can walk through a wall there and come out there. You're creating a teleportation portal. They are very good. It's a very good puzzle, makes you think real crazy. Like if you put a circle on the floor and then a circle on the wall behind you, if you fall into that, then the gravity of you falling will have you fall out of this wall, and then if you fall into the circle again, then now you've got even more momentum, so you'll shoot out of the wall even further. And so there's like some multi-layer problems in it, and it's also a very good story and very good voice acting and things in it as well. Played through that with Dag. Oh, Prison Architect. I got addicted to that for a while. 34 hours. 2021. April 2021. It's Prison Architect is basically Roller Coaster Tycoon, but for prisons. You're starting with nothing and you're creating a prison. And you can choose to expand your prison to include more prisoners, so you're getting more money from the government. But and then you can expand your prison further. But then the more prisoners you have, the more you have to look after them with like food. You have to stop riots. You have to stop them stabbing each other and stuff. You have to hire more and more people to work for your prison. It's a good game. Psychonauts. I think I saw Ben playing this for ages, and he said it was really good, and I wanted to play it, and I think a couple of my friends have suggested it as well and said that I should play it. So somebody obviously bought me it, but I haven't had the time to actually play it yet. PUBG Battlegrounds. Somebody bought me this just so I could play PUBG with the guys. Played it for a total of 4 hours and realised not for me. I'm not interested. I just don't generally like first-person shooters. I'm not good at them. Not good at them and don't tend to enjoy them, especially not when there's a competitive element involved and the people you're playing against have played it for thousands of hours and you're like, okay, you're very good at this, and there's no on-ramp for me to get good at it. Raft, very much love it. It's a survival crafting game where you're stranded at sea. I've played it for 150 hours so far. It's very good. There's an emergent story to it, so you can just kind of float around doing whatever you want, picking up all of the stuff and making whatever kind of a raft you want, but you can also follow like a little story throughout the game. Then Return to Monkey Island, another of the point-and-click Monkey Island games. Rime, not sure what Rime is, but I think it's just kind of like one of those cute artsy games where you're just kind of exploring the world. It's just a pretty cute one, I think. Sounds like a Mythical Turian one. Is it a Mythical Turian one? I wasn't good at PUBG either, and my laptop can't run it anymore. Again, you see? Well, Michael, you can't keep claiming the Monkey Island ones as separate games. They're all a series. It's a series called Monkey Island. So there's Return to Monkey Island, there's Escape from Monkey Island, there's... I don't know, something else. One of these was a Monkey Island one. Monkey Island 2 Special Edition, Monkey Island, Monkey Island, Monkey Island. So all the Monkey Island ones, they're all just one. They all just count as one. That still counts as one. But then I will give it to you that there's also Don't Feed the Monkeys, which is completely separate. And I think that's it. So there's only really 2 games that are about monkeys. Guilty. Probably have fun with Ben or Adam in PUBG off stream. They goof around a lot when they can. Yeah, but some are good, some are great, and some are meh. Yes, Rime is a cute exploration puzzly game, and yes, guilty. The Room, another puzzle game. Got to be in the right mind for them because they take a while to complete. But yes, they can be kind of cool puzzles. The Room 4, so I've got Room 3 and Room 4 to work through. Satisfactory, another very addictive game. Played it for only 22 hours. Thought I would have played it for longer than that. In August 21, Jesus. It is a crafting game, not really focused on survival. You're on a planet. It's kind of like Dyson Sphere Program, but first person rather than third person, and completely different art styles. A little bit more focus on a little bit more of a realistic one rather than a cartoony one. You are running around mining the planet for certain ores, avoiding dangers, picking up your things, making different like conveyor belts and machines out of it. It's much more about creating a factory that kind of works for you. Then you can eventually create enough energy cells and stuff to get off of the planet. Quite an addictive one. Sea of Thieves. I have actually played that. Oh yeah, I played it with Dag a little bit. Played it with Dag very little bit back in March 2021. Jesus. Just basically you're a pirate at sea and you're doing pirate things. Ooh, Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, that's right. A puzzle game, Sherlock Holmes. Never actually played it, but I talked about it and somebody was like, "Hey, you like Sherlock Holmes? Have this game." Shift Happens. Don't know anything about this one. Never heard of it. When did I get this one? Never played it, obviously. Some kind of a puzzle game by the looks of it. In a factory making vacuum cleaners. Gotcha. Sounds fun. Pretty much, yeah. The Ship. Never played it. Don't really know anything about it. What is this one? Beginner's Guide. Looks like a looks like kind of a first-person point-and-click adventure game, maybe. And then The Ship single player. The Ship tutorial. Slime Rancher, that was a cute little addictive one. Only 13 hours. I would have thought I would have played it more than that. You've got like a little gun that you can suck up slimes, and then you can pop them into different pens that you've created for them. There's like little cat slimes and pink slimes and blue slimes and rock slimes and black slimes, and you can breed the slimes to create like hybrid slimes, and you can feed the slimes. Some of them are carnivorous and eat chickens, and some of them are herbivorous and eat like berries and stuff. It's just a very cute little farming simulator kind of game, but you're farming slimes. Shift Happens is a co-op puzzle game. Got it for DAG as well a while ago. Shift Happens co-op puzzle game. Gotcha. Cool. What else we got? Spectra Ball? Never heard of it. It's weird. It's so weird that I've got a bunch of games in my Steam library that I just have never heard of even. Somebody must have got me it at the time when I just didn't have the time to even think about the game, let alone actually install it and play it. I'll give that a go at some point. Not sure what it is. Spelunky, some friend of mine said that they really enjoyed it, so I think we downloaded it to try and play together. Played it together for like 1 hour and then gave up on it. It's like a little when was the last time I played it? October 21. Yeah, a little spelunking game, a little cave exploration game. You're destroying your way through certain like terrain and trying to find the exit, I think. Caving essentially. Slime Rancher 2 is an early release, nice. Stardew Valley, fucking love it. 266 hours gaming time so far. Playing this with Forgeling and Cordy and AJ at the moment, when we can. Haven't played it in a week or two. Stories Untold, don't know what this is. No idea what that one is. Probably should look at that at some point. Stranded Deep, another survival crafting game, kind of like Raft, but a little bit more based on island hopping, I think. Can't really remember too much about it. 67 minutes played. Subnautica, another survival crafting game, kind of like Raft, but underwater rather than on the surface of the water. That was quite a fun one. I played it for nearly 5 hours, but back in 2021. Sunless Sea, an emergent story, kind of a spoopy themed game where you kind of have to just work out what's going on and what's the story. My friend told me all about it and talked a lot about it. Stardew Valley is so addictive, yeah. Stories Untold is an anthology of spooky stories. The way they are told is very interesting. Right. I just escaped from 4546B, the Planetum Subnautica. Glad to be back with you again. Welcome back, Michael. By the way, does anyone have 1 billion credits to lend me, please? Altera charged me this amount for my landing on Earth. Jeez. Subnautica's good. Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I should probably play it again at some point. Maybe you should have a week of just playing video games. Didn't Alan do that a while back? That was like a month of just trying all the games on my Steam library. Or something like that. That would probably be a interesting time if I need some time away from D&D and just be like, let's just do a shit ton of downtime streams and play through some video games. Tabletop Simulator, played that quite a lot, 36 hours of it, because it's just a good way to play tabletop games with your friends. Tailspire, very good, played it for 84 hours, mostly through Twitch Tales. The Talos Principle, there you go, somebody was talking about this earlier, and I said I'm not sure that I've even heard of it. It did ring a bell a little bit, and that's probably why, because it's on my Steam list. First person puzzle game, is it? You're walking around as a robot, maybe? Walking around as a robot, doing puzzles. The Testament of Sherlock Holmes, another Sherlock Holmes puzzle game, no doubt. Thimbleweed I've played for a little while, seven hours. It's a point-and-click game, but one that I found less boring than some of the Monkey Islands and stuff, because it wasn't quite as tedious. It wasn't quite as like left field puzzle answers, and it had some real good humour to it. It was lots of tongue-in-cheek kind of lots of tongue-in-cheek fourth wall breaking and things. Like fourth wall breaking like this. This is really odd. Should I save my game? Yeah, little murder mystery. Tabs, totally accurate battle simulator. I don't know much about this. The artwork looks familiar. I obviously haven't played it. Can't remember who got me it. Maybe it was Fancy. I think this seems like a fancy thing to be like, hey, we should play this for mod games, maybe. I will eventually have mod games, by the way, mods. I think I'm thinking what did we lock in? The 5th? Well, not lock in, pencil in. I think we penciled in the 15th or something, wasn't it? I think that's looking like it could work still. Get out of here. What am I doing? Mod games. Yeah, I've still got mod games penciled in for the 15th, so that could work. We'll play some mod games at some point. 2 Point Hospital, very good. It's obviously a spiritual successor to Theme Hospital, which is kind of like Prison Architect in that you are creating a hospital for patients, and you have to create new diagnostic rooms, and people are coming in with crazy new illnesses and ailments, and you have to work out how to diagnose them and then cure them, while also maintaining the things like all of the like sanitation and stuff of your hospital and keeping it clean. Ultimate Chicken Horse, little puzzle, not a battle game. It's a competitive platformer. That's what I'll call it. You are starting in a level where you've got a start and an end point, and usually you start in a situation where you can't possibly get to the end point because there's nothing in between there. But every level, at the start of the level, you get to choose one item from a box of randomized items, and so it might be like a girder, or it might be like a trap, or it might be like this or the other. And then you can place that anywhere on the field. So you're building the map like a Super Mario platformer. You're building the map. In order to jump from here to there, I'm going to need a platform in the middle. So you can put a platform down, but then somebody else can put their trap onto the platform that you just put. So then you have to jump across. And basically, if all of you get to the end, nobody gets any points because the level was too easy. If nobody gets to the end, nobody gets any points because the level was too hard. If a couple of people get to the end, but a couple of people die on the way, then the people who got to the end get some points. Competitive, so you've got to kind of get the level just about right as to how hard to make the level for yourselves. Untitled Goose Game, played that for 4 hours and finished it. It's a very cute little puzzle where you're playing just an annoying little troll, and you're stealing people's keys, and you're honking at them, and you're pushing them in front of traffic and stuff. Well, maybe not that last one. Valheim, very addictive, played it for nearly 100 hours, jeez. But not since August 2022. So I haven't played Valheim in a while, but yeah, very addictive that one. Your survival crafting, obviously. You getting the impression, everybody, that I'm a pretty big fan of survival crafters. There's a lot of them in my list. A Way Out. Oh, this is a two-person puzzle game where you're both prisoners, I think, and one of you has to pass like. So you might be like one of you's in the workshop, and you might have to like pick up one of the spanners or the wrenches or something from the workshop. But obviously, when you leave, the guards are going to pat you down and make sure you're not stealing any wrenches. So before you leave, you've got to pass the wrench through the bars to your friend who's on the outside, who then takes the wrench and can do something. Blah blah blah. It's kind of like one of those games where you are working together to solve a puzzle. I haven't played it yet. I haven't decided who I want to play it with, but I should message one of my friends and be like, hey, you all got time to play some puzzle game? Kind of miss playing Valheim, not that my potato ran it properly. Should play Medieval Dynasty. Never heard of it. We Were Here, cute little puzzle game, only 2 hours played, but that's all it took to actually finish it. It was me and Talia playing through this one. It's a two-person puzzle game. One of you is in the room actually doing the puzzles, and the other person is outside. It was very much like the Keep Talking Nobody Explodes, in that one person is describing what they're seeing, and the other person is using that description to try and come up with what the answer to the puzzle should be, and relaying that back to them. It's a communication game. West of Loathing. Don't know what that is. Never heard of it. Never heard of it, but somebody's obviously gifted it to me. Witcher 3. I think I have this because I started playing Witcher and mentioned that I didn't like it, and somebody's like, it's because it doesn't get good till the third one. And so I think somebody gifted me the third one to be like, you should play The Witcher 3. The Witness. This is the puzzle game I was talking about earlier. It's really cute artwork, and it's dots, essentially dots on a screen, and you're having to it's a maze puzzle game. It's a maze game, and you have to solve the maze each time, but the maze gets weird different rules each time. Like you can go from the start to the end, but you have to encompass the black dots inside of your maze, so you have to sort of go in a particular way in order to get to the end while still encompassing all of the black dots in it, or stuff like that. And meanwhile, you're walking around an island, and each sort of section of the island, once you've completed that level's sections, that section's levels, like a little laser shoots from that section to the top of this mountain, and that makes you go, oh, I guess I've got to go around the whole island and complete all the different sections and get all the lasers. And so far, I've got like half of them, and I just keep forgetting about it. I mainly only ever play The Witness when it's a mod games day and all of the mods have gone to sleep or something, and it's mainly just me and Ajo around, because Ajo, it's fun to just hang out with Ajo and just play this game, and she can just hang out and watch and offer advice if I'm getting stuck on a level or something. That's a cute little maze game. And then finally on my list is World of Horror. Don't know anything about it, don't know what it is, never really heard of it. And then the only other games I have are the ones that are hidden, which I don't even remember how to show them. But I've got a bunch of games that I've played enough that I'm not bothered about playing those again, and I will just hide them from view. Usually when I've finished a game, if it's a game that doesn't have a lot of replayability and I finish it, I'm like, okay, delete it. Uninstall, hide. I enjoyed The Witness like a better version of the Talos principle. Okay, cool. Well, I will give both a go and let you know what I think at some point. You sent me Witcher 3 because it's your current hyperfixation. It's really good and choices are very important in it. Very good. I will give it a go at some point. Who the hell knows when. Seems like a lot of my Steam list was from you, Myth. Thank you very much. It's very generous of you, and I'm glad that you keep sending me video games, even though you know that I haven't played most of the ones that you've actually sent me, because you know that I will eventually. If you guys want to add me on Steam, you can do so. It's one of the only places where I will actually accept friend invites from randoms, or from fans, or from people I don't actually know that much. You can find me Robert Hartley GM, like in everywhere, and if you send me a friend request, you can do so. I'm always willing to accept games. If you find a game that you're like, Rob should play this one, and send me the game, then I'm happy to accept it and add it to my library, but there's no guarantees that I'll play it anytime soon, that's for sure. How do we get on to talking about Steam games? I can't remember. But now I'm really in the mood for playing games, but I don't have the time, unfortunately. I have got to do some Twitch Tales prep for tomorrow. We're going to the Plane of Earth tomorrow, probably, depending on if that's what people vote to do or not. But yeah, probably going to the Plane of Earth tomorrow, so I've got to do a little bit of Twitch Tales prep for that, and then I've got a stream here in 2.5 hours with Marie for 4 hours, where we're going to be creating a level 20 character. Well, not here, obviously, over on Twitch. Got a stream for a level 20 character. It's Alive with Marie. And then tonight I'm going around to a friend's house, Spidey's house, to play Imperial Assault with AJ. She's heard a lot about Imperial Assault because I talk about it all the time, and we're going to go play it. I've walked on my treadmill during a part of the charisma check. I'm dripping and I'll duck in my shower now. Nice. Smart. It's a good thing to do. Just like watch me while working out. That's why not. Can't send you anything until you play Dragon Age because I would just send Dragon Age 2. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Which of those games that I just listed would you guys most like to see me play in a downtime game? Downtime stream. Obviously Skyrim from Terra. Dragon Age from Nerdwitch. Pretty much any of the games that you've sent me, Mythical, I'm sure. Hades, Ajo. Is there frost on the sword already? This one? Is my sword frosty? No, I think it's shining. Witcher 3, Hades, Oxenfree. Terra. ... Skyrim, obviously. Hades. There's a few for Hades. You guys want to see me play Hades again? Dragon Age! I want to play games. You were also Hades, yeah. Anything with a storyline? Don't play the City Elf Origin, it's depressing. Oh, on the Dragon Age City Elf. You could have said something else. I mean, you still could, Terra. If I'm wrong, you could have said something else. Am I wrong? I mean, I wouldn't have, but I could have. I could have, exactly. Wouldn't have, but could have. Alrighty. Well, I think I might leave it there because I've got some work to do today, and I've also got to eke out some time to spend with Harvey today at some point, so that he's not terrorizing the place when I leave him for a few hours tonight. So I probably should go and try and tire him out a little bit. But I really want to play video games now. I'm in a really video game mood now. Why did I do that to myself? And I don't have any time tomorrow to play either because I've got Twitch Tales, and then I've got... Oh, actually I will be playing video games because I'm playing Grounded tomorrow with some friends. So that might sate me. I've got Twitch Tales, and then I've got Grounded with some friends, and then I've got a math stream. And then on Monday I've got the BTS, and then I've got to do some invoices, financy stuffs, like a boring adult. And then I'm going to the Waitomo Caves, which is going to be very exciting. Have you ever been to any glowworm caves before? I'm going to take AJ on a day trip to see some... Well, we're not actually going to Waitomo. We're going to the Wyomio Caves up north. I'm going to go see some glowworms. It's very exciting. I've been before. I've been before to some glowworm caves, but not for a long time. And AJ sent me like a reel, being like, "Ooh, look how pretty this is," and I was like, "You know, we have those." She's like, "Oh." So we're gonna go out on a little day trip. That's gonna be pretty cute. I'd watch anything really, even chess. I'm easily entertained. Before leaving, sacrifice 200 pieces to the tech goblins. Thank you. Play through the Dwarf Noble Origin. Hang responsibilities. Play the game. We don't have glowworms here. Got to stand alone in one in the middle of nowhere in pitch black. How the hell did you do that? Was it just a non-public one? Was it just random caves that you found? Because obviously, glowworms are glowworms. They're going to live wherever they live. Not all glowworm caves are paid ticketed events, so you can just be lucky and find them. Is that what you did? You just happened across some glowworms, or did you go on like a tour that was no one was on the tour and you just kind of hung back? Some little scumbag broke into my car last night, so I gotta go deal with that. That sucks, Space. I'm sorry to hear that. I really want to see some Baldur's Gate 3 someday. Yeah, when Baldur's Gate 3 comes out, I'm definitely going to play through it on stream. It was me driving along and saw a sign and went, "Oh, squirrel!" That sounds fine. Sounds good to me. And you're like, was it just like glowworm caves? Wasn't like a ticketed thing? Or you had to buy a ticket and then also just take yourself around in a tour? Because when I was looking them up, I was finding all sorts of different areas where they do the glowworms, and I was like, some of them were like, you can get yourself there, and there's no tickets. You just walk in, but it is a bit of a hike, and be careful. Be ready to wade through water. One of them said, "Be ready to get your feet to thighs wet." And I was feet to thighs. That's a significant margin of error as to like how deep the water is going to be that you have to wade through. And also whose thighs? Because my thighs with my stupid long legs are like gonna drown, AJ. It's like, feet to thighs wet. It's like, so be prepared to swim to get to the glowworm caves if you want to save like $40 and go to an unticketed one. It was just a park and walk in thing. I had to walk through water barefoot to get to them. Damn. I mean, worth it if you can get into the pitch black middle of nowhere to stand alone in the glowworm caves, I guess. I guess it's a very memorable experience. As long as you feel safe doing it and you're not going to get swept away by water and no one knows where the hell you went. Bagels thighs? Yeah, exactly. My ankles. All right, I really should go. Harvey's barking now, so I've got to go see what that is, and it's a good excuse for me to call it there. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody. Thanks for being Patreons. I really appreciate it. I hope you're still enjoying the Patreon content. I'm trying my best to keep putting stuff out there. Like you get first looks at the videos. You're getting these Patreon charisma checks. I'm trying to put certain things like polls and things on there first. What else? I haven't really made anything for the game yet in a while, so I haven't done any like world building kind of stuff and making new spells and things. But once I've finished my dwarf, now that I'm kind of back on the world building train with Legend Keeper, fucking loving Legend Keeper, by the way. It's really getting me excited about world building again and like fleshing out the world and making it my own, like starting to push away from D&D lore and like really thinking about what the lore of my world is. So once I'm done with some of the things like here's my new rules for how dwarves work, then I will obviously put stuff like that on Patreon. So long, and thanks for all the fish. It was Waipu. Yeah, is Waipu where we're going? No, Waipu's on the way to where we're going. We're going further north to our glowworm caves tomorrow on Monday. I was on my way north, went to a gorge with a waterfall again, alone in nature, and then the caves. Nice, sounds good. Alrighty, well, I hope you're enjoying the Patreon. The Patreon money does genuinely help me a lot for reliability. Ginny D recently put out a video about a day in the life of a YouTuber, and she does a really good job of breaking down just how little money we actually get from YouTube, and that's her with 500,000 subscribers, and then there's me with not even 10 yet. So you can really tell how little money we get as YouTubers from YouTube alone. And in that video, she talks about like how important Patreon is as like a platform that's not going to go away or disappear anytime soon. All of the platforms that I earn money through, Twitch and YouTube and stuff, as part of my agreements with them, they could just change their agreement at any time and be like, actually, you're only getting 30% now, or actually, we're not going to pay you for ads anymore, or actually, we're not going to do this, or you're not going to do that, and our money could just go away at a moment's notice. Whereas Patreon's like, here's your money, here's people are paying you money because they like your content. So I know I'm preaching to the choir. You're all Patreon people. So I just wanted to let you know how much it means to me that you are choosing to give me some of your money each month, and I really enjoy it, and I'm really appreciative of it because it helps me to keep paying the bills and paying my mortgage and things like that. So thanks for being here. I will see you guys in about 2.5 hours over on Twitch for an It's Alive stream with Marie. We're going to create a level 20 character from scratch, and if that is a weird time for you and you need to go to sleep now or whatever, or you need to go to work and miss it, I will see you instead tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Sunday morning time for me, New Zealand time, for Twitch Tales episode 85, when Apis is potentially going to the plane of Earth, depending on the decisions that are made anyway. Thanks for being here. Bye!